Hello, welcome to Walpole United WFC.
Good afternoon and welcome to Walpole United WFC. We are joined by John once again today, recovered from his lost voice, which is great to hear. How are you today, John?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Slowly getting there now. I can't talk for too long without stopping, but yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Good, glad to hear it. Obviously, I've been a busy week at work, but I'm glad you're all right, and I'm good, thanks. Looking forward to getting back to the games this weekend. But before we do touch on this weekend's round of fixtures, I just want to remind the viewers the results before the international break. So I'm going to do that quickly and then we'll run into this week's games. So obviously we had the Manchester derby, which ended 2-2. Chelsea won 2-0 against Leicester. Brighton beat Spurs 2-1. Reading picked their first points of the season up, beating Villa 3-0. Arsenal beat Everton 3-0, which was Willie Kirk's last game, I believe, unless there was a Conti Cup game after it. And then West Ham v Birmingham was 1-1, which Birmingham picked their first point of the season up. Prediction-wise, we drew 4-4 that week, and after 5 games, I lead 46-32. But going on to this week's games, we will start with the lunchtime kickoff, which is Arsenal v West Ham. Now, the head-to-head record for this one is 6 wins to Arsenal. West Ham have managed to get a draw once, but they haven't picked up a win. It is first v 6th. Arsenal have won all 5 games. West Ham have won 2, drawn 2, lost 1. Arsenal scoring 19 goals and conceding 2 in that time, whereas West Ham scored 8 and conceded 4. Now, I wanted to put this question to you, John, because after 5 games for a club like West Ham, that's quite a good conceding rate, I think. 4 goals after 5 games, especially playing the likes of Man City and that. What do you think on West Ham's goals conceded rate?
Yeah, I am a believer that the league doesn't lie, but as you mentioned, they did play City, so to only concede 4 games in 5, and City's only 1 game, I think is really good. However, the other 4 games, I think I'm not overly surprised. I believe they played Leicester and Birmingham in that time. Brighton, I can't remember the other one, maybe someone low down like a Villa or someone.
They played Villa.
Villa, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, and Villa equalised in the dying moments.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I think I'm absolutely really good from the Man City point of view. But the rest of the games, yeah, you kind of expect them just to concede an average 1 goal a game against us. So not overly surprised, but it's definitely commendable that they're doing everything that they can do at the moment. Scored 8 goals as well, not in a bad position in the league. Doing slightly better than I thought they would be doing. I think that's possibly down to some of the teams doing worse than what I thought they would be doing. And also the formation, I think they play like a 5 at the back more than a 4 at the back, which is probably sets them up nicely. So when they haven't got the ball, they can keep it quite tight. But yeah, credit to them. It's going to be a lot difficult this game. I think we will see a slight difference in that goal average. But yeah, they're a +4 goal average, which is actually better than United's at the moment.
Yeah, it is better than United's at the moment, and we'll discuss why. Well, I think the viewers know why that is 1 game, but we'll discuss that when we get get to the United's game. But no, I agree with you, John. They make it hard for teams to score, create chances and that, which is credit to West Ham for doing that. But heading on to the game, do you, the stats don't lie, 5 wins, do you expect it to be 6? And do you expect it to be quite comfortable, or do you think it will be a closer game than most people think?
I think Arsenal dominates, just a case of how many that they'll probably score. I don't think it'll be probably as high scoring as yourself. I know you always go for the higher scores than myself, and that's probably why you're winning the predictions so far this season. But I do think West Ham will make it tough. Obviously, it's a London derby as well. West Ham have been resolute as well. It's just I can't see Arsenal losing this game. They're not only on form in the league, but they're also doing well. Obviously, we saw on the weekend in the cup as well. So, score prediction, definitely fancy Arsenal for the win. I think once to score 1 or 2, they'll probably go on to score a few more than that. But I'll probably go for a 4-0 on this one for Arsenal.
Fair enough, John. Fair enough. That's an interesting one because you're carrying on the theme before the international break. Because, like you might have even heard me before we went live. I did say I thought it would at least double their goal conceding tally. I just think with the quality Arsenal have got, they can just pick pockets and that and create them gaps that a lot of other teams struggled with. And I just think they just got, if Tobin Heath's not in this game squad, or you got Inabuchi and all that, so they've got them options up front and that. And I think, like you said, I think once they score 1 or 2, then they'll get the 3rd and 4th. So, yeah, for that reason, I've gone for 4-0 as well. So that covers Arsenal v West Ham. Now, we do have another game on Saturday, which I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think it's an evening kickoff, which is Villa v Chelsea. Now, they've played each other 3 times, which you wouldn't be surprised for me to tell you that Chelsea have won all 3 of them. It's 7th v 2nd. Villa have won 2. Chelsea have won 4. Villa have drawn 1. Chelsea haven't drawn any. Villa have lost 2. And Chelsea have lost 1, which was the opening day defeat to Arsenal. Villa, even though they've picked up 2 wins and a draw, they don't score many. They scored 4 and conceded 9 in that time, whereas Chelsea have scored 17 but have conceded 5, mainly because of the first game where they conceded 3 against Arsenal. What are your thoughts on this game then? Are we going with the form book again? How do you see Villa coming out? How are they going to make it as hard as possible to break down Chelsea, to break them down? Because there has been a few games this season where they struggle for the first 45 minutes to break them down, but the second half comes, they get that one, and then the second or third comes shortly after. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think what you said about only scoring 4 goals, I think that's a worry. I think I can't really see how Villa can score more than 1 goal here, if I'm honest. This reminds me a little bit of when Man United lost 6-1 to Chelsea, and then how would they approach Man City? Because when Villa played Arsenal at Villa Park, they approached it with caution, very defensive for that first half. Did a job in that first half, but then couldn't hold on for the full 90. Will Carter Ward kind of do the same here and just sit back and hope to, keep it tight, keep it 0-0. 1-0 down at the most in the aim to maybe sneak a draw or sneak a 1-0 win. And, that is possible. That way it did work for 45 minutes, but against a tough Arsenal side, I think that was always going to be very difficult to do for 90 minutes. When Chelsea are on form, it could turn out the same way. It could be, if you sit back against Chelsea with the quality of their players, then eventually you'd think that Chelsea will break them down. I think if Aston Villa try and go toe to toe, you can't blame Villa if they end up losing because they're trying to put on a show. But I just can't see how they can go toe to toe with the players that Chelsea have got. So I can kind of see going very similar to the Arsenal game, where they'll try and stay tight. They'll do what they can at the back, probably not really causing Chelsea much of a threat. And it might stay as 0-0 for quite a while, and then possibly leak 1 or 2 goals throughout the whole game. But yeah, I can't see Aston Villa picking up any points on this one.
Yeah, no, I agree with pretty much what you've said. I think that they will go in cautious because, as you can see with Man United, if you concede in the first 5 minutes, then it can be a long afternoon where you sort of have to go for it to try and get back in the game. Otherwise, they'll just be comfortable and they'll pick you off patiently instead because they have that comfort of that lead, so they don't have to force it. Whereas the longer it goes, they'll want to frustrate them. But you only have to look at Chelsea's last game against Leicester, where it looked like Leicester could have picked up a crucial point, but the pressure told and they let 2 goals in the last 10 minutes, which led Chelsea to win 2-0. And Chelsea have been there and they've done it for years. So they know to be patient. They know how to break down teams. And they know the majority of the time it's a matter of when and not if, because they're so good with that. Emma Hayes obviously has been there a long time, so they all know her way of working, which can only be a plus for them. And obviously the depth in the squad, like if Kerr's not playing, then you got Harder, because Harder didn't play the other night, but they still had enough quality.
Mm-hmm.
So, no, I agree with you. Scoreline prediction. What are you saying for this one then?
I think this is going to be the weekend where you see the top 2 kind of break away and the bottom 2 in the league kind of start going further down the league as well. So for me, definitely a Chelsea win. I'm going to go for a 3-0 on this one.
Oh, God.
Here we go again.
Yeah, I've got 3-0 as well. And let's say this. We haven't been telling our scorelines before. You think, oh, they obviously know their scorelines. No. So you've gone for 3-0 and I've gone for a 3-0 too. It's at Villa's grounds. But I think once Chelsea get the first goal, they'll get a couple of more.
Mm-hmm.
I think even though Villa they just don't score enough. So they're never going to score more than Chelsea, unfortunately, for Villa fans. It's just a case of how many Chelsea do score, because we know when the top teams are on their days, they can get 5s and 6s. But on this occasion, I reckon 3-0. So we will now move on to Leicester Man City. Now, they've played each other twice, and City have won both times. This is where it's strange, though, the table positions. Obviously, Leicester are bottom, 5 losses. It's obviously going to happen. You haven't picked a point up. So, yeah. But this is where we're surprised a bit with injuries, yes, but 9th, 1 win, 1 draw and 3 losses. scoring 7, conceding 11. So I think I might have done that wrong way round, but don't quote me, sorry. But they have conceded quite a few. So how do you see this one planning itself out? Man City, they've not been so great, but Leicester are one of these teams that they seem to turn it on when they play Leicester. So how do you see the game playing out?
I think this is the start for Man City's kind of comeback now. I think they'll start putting a run of games together, which will obviously be a bad thing for Leicester at the moment. I think Leicester's only scored 2 goals, so I was thinking to myself, could Leicester at least get a goal here against a weaker Man City side? But I genuinely don't think that they can. So I do fancy City. I'd love to be able to say Leicester's going to start picking up some points sometime soon, but it's, as I mentioned earlier, I think the bottom of the league is just going to start falling away now. I think the middle of the league is just going to start winning a few, or at least picking up some draws. And I think Man City will start picking up a few points and start closing the gap on that top 3, top 4. And it's going to start now, isn't it? I think, they've had 2 or 3 week break. I appreciate some have gone away on international duty, but that's just kept their match fitness up. Maybe Leicester's been working on things behind the scenes to try and make it a bit more easy for themselves to keep it tight to the back, but I can't see them scoring. I'm going to give my prediction now.
Yeah, no worries.
This could be 4 or 5-0 to Man City, if I'm honest. I might go really bold and go for 5-0. It's probably more likely to be 4, but I'm going to go for 5.
You're being brave.
Yeah.
Before I have my say, I'm just going to clear up the conceding. City have conceded 11 goals. Where I got confused is where I wrote down my number for Leicester and conceding. I could only see the 3, and I thought, well, they definitely haven't conceded 3. Leicester have conceded 13 viewers, so a similar amount of goals conceded, but City have obviously scored a few more and got the win. But no, I agree with you. Even though City have not done great, they are getting a couple of players back, and the way Leicester are going to score, for me, is from outside the box. No disrespect to Man City's third choice keeper, but she's not good enough for the standard that Man City want. A lot of their goals that they have conceded have been through Man City's third choice keeper. You only have to look back at last week's FA Cup. Now, I know the first one had a lot of power, but it was nearer. You should be getting at least 2 hands to palm that away. The second one as well, it just went under a hand or under a body, and at this level, they're 2 goals that you should be saving. You look at the Manchester derby. I think if Ellie Roebuck's in goal, we possibly don't score any of them goals. Mm-hmm. But you have to take that into consideration. You have to think you play in front of who you play. City, yes, we've talked about them being unlucky with injuries, but they got a big enough squad to cope. So it will be a City win for me, and I'm like you, John. I reckon that they're going to get. They played in the Conti Cup and they were comfortable, and I think it will be comfortable again. And I'm glad you went for 5-0 because I've gone for 4-0 Man City. So that brings us now on to Birmingham v Reading. Now it's 11th v 10th. They've played each other 7 times. Birmingham have won 3 times, draws twice, Reading have won twice, but in the recent past, their squads have changed quite a bit. Birmingham have only got the 1 point. Reading last time out got their first points with that convincing win against Villa. Birmingham struggles in front of goal. They've only scored 2, but then Reading have only scored 3, which was last time out. Oh, no. No, that's wrong. They've scored 4. Whereas they've not conceded well as well either. Birmingham have conceded 12, whereas Reading have conceded 10. Now, I want to ask you this question. After Reading's win, do they grow in confidence after getting the win last time out? Or can you see Birmingham getting something out of this game after their first point of the season last time out?
That'll definitely give them confidence. And I think that they'll carry that confidence into this game. Whether or not it'll actually kickstart the rest of the season, I'm not too sure, because I do see a bit of a difference in the bottom 3 and the other 9 this season. I do fancy Reading in this game. I do like Birmingham. I know every week I come on this show hoping that Birmingham's going to pick up points, and I think that they are a very well organised team, considering that they're towards the bottom. I think they kind of know where they are. They're just not good enough. But I do think that they are I think they are kind of well structured on the pitch. I think I've seen other teams this season where I've thought to myself, they're a bit of a shambles. But I see Birmingham play. We saw them live against United, and they do have a game plan. They're just not as good as some of the other teams. It's as simple as that. And I mean, like the individual players there as well. And that's a shame. I do think that Reading will pick something up from this game. I just think that it's time for Reading now to start creeping up that league a little bit. I'm not saying it's a false position, because they deserve to be down there, and we know that they had a weak summer, but I do believe that they should be higher than Birmingham and considerably higher. So I think that this is going to be like a bit of a make or break game for Reading. If they win this game and then they pick up one more win before Christmas, then they know that they can go into the new year without being in a relegation battle. And I think that's where Reading need to be, and should deserve to be as well by that point. So yeah, I fancy Reading, but I won't give a score prediction just yet. I'll wait for you to give your kind of summary on this one. Yeah,
no worries. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think I just have a feel. Obviously, Reading will be confident, and I was right. It was Reading's first 3 goals last time out, so they were suffering, but they're both suffering with a lack of goals, both teams. So I feel they might cancel each other out. Birmingham being at home, there'll be confidence that they can get something out of this. Reading haven't been setting the world alight. Yes, they beat Villa 3-0 last time out, which did surprise us a bit, considering how Villa have started the season. So it did surprise us a bit, me and you both. But this one, 11th through 10th, I just think it's going to be a closer game. But I think I'll say my prediction first this time. I've gone for a 1-1 draw.
That's good. I'm happy that you got for a draw, because I've gone for a win for somebody. So what made you decide for that 1-1 then, Anthony?
I just think both teams don't score enough, and they both concede a load as well. So you could think, well, why hasn't we gone for a higher goal scoring game? But I just feel they'll cancel each other out. They don't score enough between them, and I just feel like it'll be one of these games where possibly Birmingham will go ahead and then Reading will get one back, or it could be the other way around, like it was with West Ham Birmingham last time out. And that's the reason why I've gone for it. I think they both will be confident in getting something out of there, but a point each, I reckon.
This is a game. This is one game where I'd like you to win this one because I'm going to go for Reading 2-1 win, and obviously being from the Birmingham area, I have got a slight soft spots on them for them. I just think that this is Reading's chance, and I don't think that they'll fluff it up. I think I'm going to go for 2-1. I agree with you. I don't think there'll be many goals. How it's going to come, I don't know. It could be Reading take the lead. It could go 2-0 up. Birmingham could pull one back. Birmingham could start off. I really don't know how it's going to go. I just think that Birmingham might just get a little bit unlucky on this one. And this is where I said at the start of the show where I think the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal now will start going away. And I think the bottom two will start floating towards the bottom. The likes of Man City will start winning and creeping up to where they need to be. And we'll talk about Man United shortly. I just think that this is the week now where we'll start seeing, the cream rise to the top and obviously the bottom just drift away further. So pains me to say that I hope I'm wrong, but for me, this is a 2-1 Reading.
Yeah, no, that's a good prediction because if I hadn't went for a draw, it would have been something similar like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that brings us on to Everton v Brighton now. They've played each other 6 times, Everton winning twice, 3 draws and 1 Brighton win. Everton have won 2, lost 3. Brighton have won 3, lost 2. Everton have scored 6 but conceded 12. Brighton have scored 10 but conceded 5. Now, after Everton are pressing in the Conti Cup, and with a new manager now, so places are up for grabs for everyone. How do you see this one shaping out? With obviously they'll be confident getting that win against Leicester, and they'll all want to impress the new manager, and they'll want their spot in the starting 11. So they've got that to play for, as well as the points up for grabs. What's your view?
Brighton have really impressed me and surprised me. Getting, I think 9 points. Did you say 9 points out of the possible 15? Yeah. Fully deserved. I keep thinking to myself, okay, so when is the point where Brighton will start dropping away a little bit and dropping a few points? I think if Willie Kirk was still there, I'd say I fancy Brighton to potentially pinch it or at least to draw. But I think, as you rightly said, a new manager coming in, the manager will look at tightening things up a little bit. Getting the best out of the players that they've got. They've all got to start playing for him. Sorry, my throat's playing up a little bit there.
Right, mate, no worries.
I can't help but think that if Everton don't turn it around here, the pressure's going to start mounting even more. They've got a great bunch of players. The signings over the summer, everyone shouted about. It's about time that these players start to step up now, and the players have got nowhere to hide. They've got a new manager in now, so they can't blame the manager.
Ex-Leon.
Exactly. So for me, I think it depends on how the manager wants to approach it. Does the manager want to kind of stop the rot a little bit regarding losses and just build from the back, so make them a hard team to play against, concede less goals and maybe nick a 1-0 win, or will they go gung-ho and just try and outscore the opposition? I think if they tighten up at the back, I think that's probably the best way to go in this game. And I think that's probably what they'll try and do. They'll try and make it very difficult for Brighton to score. And then with the quality of players that they've got, you'd expect them to score. So I do slightly fancy Everton on this one, purely because of the new manager. I'll give my score prediction shortly. But yeah, I think the new manager is kind of going to help Everton a lot on this game.
Yeah, no, you make an interesting point that you think the manager is going to be one of the big differences, which I agree with you. But we all know Brighton are a funny side. They get some good results, and then I've discussed it before, and then you think, oh, you get confidence with Brighton, and you think, oh, they're going to win that, and then they go and lose. So it depends which Brighton team turn up, but they've got a great manager in Hope Powell. She's been there a few years now, so they know what what she demands of them. Like you said, it's going to be a tight game. I feel it's going to be one goal in it for me. But I'll let you do your prediction first. But I feel with places up for grabs, Everton and that, and they'll want to start picking up some more points to get away from the bottom end of the table. I feel that Everton will be confident and getting that. But you can never rule out Brighton. I think Brighton would take a point. But it's a funny old game, especially Brighton. They have some good moments and then some not so good moments. So it's an interesting one, and I think it'll be a tight one. But I'm going to ask for your prediction first. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 1-1. I can't see Brighton not scoring. Like I said, I know that Everton will try and keep it tight, but I think Brighton scored 10. Everton's conceded more than 10. So I just fancy Brighton to get on the score sheet. It's just said whether or not Everton can score 2. That's going to be the question. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 on this one.
Okay.
I think that'll be a good result for both teams.
Yeah, I think Brighton would probably be more happier with being the away side if that was the case. But you've gone for 1-1, so we've swapped results from the previous 2 games. I think Everton are going to scrape it 2-1. I just feel the manager will want them tighter at the back. But like you said, I agree. I think I can't see Brighton not scoring. But I feel like Everton will get a couple. It'll be the first game, if I'm right, in front of the new manager in the league. So the fans will be expecting. So for that, I've gone for 2-1 Everton. It's Brighton. But that now leads us on to Spurs v Manchester United. We've played them 4 times and we've won all 4 times. It's 3rd v 4th with Spurs in 3rd, surprisingly, which I think others would be surprised as well. But they've won 4 games and they've only lost once, which I believe was last time out against Brighton. So they're definitely exceeding expectations at the moment. But even though they have won 4 games, they've only scored 7, but they've only conceded 3. Whereas Brighton have won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1, but they've scored 10, but they've conceded 9. Sorry, Manchester United. Apologies. So you might look at it and think 9, but it was the Chelsea game. 6 of the goals were from the Chelsea game, and hence why our goal conceded tally is so high. But what I want to ask you before about the game, can you see United getting into the top 3 after the experience of disappointment last season? And also, can you see us strengthening in January, especially up front, to give us the best possible chance?
I think 5 games in, if you had turned around and said to Manchester United fans, you'd be on 10 points out of 15. I think the majority of fans would have took that. I think it's a credit to the squad and the manager that we're talking about top 3, potentially being favourites for top 3 at this point. You could argue it's the fact that Man City have dropped points, which is true, but you know that's their fault. You know, the objective of the league is to do better than your opponents. You know, to finish higher than anybody else, and that's what we're doing at the moment. Tottenham are doing well; they're there on merit, and they deserve to be there. I think you touched on the previous 4 meetings. We've won all 4. I think we'll still go into this game as favourites.
You've got more tighter in the last couple of games, though. Like in the first season in the Championship, we would dominate them and beat them quite comfortably.
Yeah, and Tottenham deserve to be there. They played very well this season. Got a good manager who's set them up, who's got them playing the way that they want to play, and they are moving forward. I think a win today would put us firm favourites for top 3. And I know it's only going to be six games gone after this weekend. Sorry, but
I was going to say we playing Friday night, are we?
Sorry, I was talking about Friday night. This weekend, I did mean sorry. I think if we do win this weekend, we have every reason to believe that we are the favourites for top 3, and I think we should be very proud of that because not many fans thought they would pick up more than 4 or 5 points. If you consider the disarray that we was apparently in over the summer, a new manager coming in who people was 50-50 about. The signings that we made weren't world-class signings. There were signings that we thought would fill the right gaps in the squad. And, of course, the players that we lost. So I think if we do win this game against Tottenham, I think fans need to step back and actually applaud what we've done because nobody predicted it at the start after 6 games that we would be better than 7 or 8 other teams. So, I think if we do win, we need to shout about it. If we lose, it's not the end of the world, but it kind of puts pressure back on us again because all of a sudden we're falling back into last season where the games that we should be winning, we're dropping points on. And then you can kind of sit on the fence. If we draw, is that a good or a bad result? Well, it'll still keep us above City, but then the likes of Tottenham will give them confidence as well. And I think, Man United fans being Man United fans will put the team and manager under scrutiny there. So I do think that we're looking good for top 3, purely because we're still in the race and, still level with Tottenham and City still being far behind. So, can I just say at this point, we haven't mentioned Everton in the top 3, whereas, at the start of the season, Everton's going to finish above us, Leicester's going to push us. I think it's great to see that we're doing better than the teams that had good transfer windows. Thoughts on the actual game itself? I won't give a prediction just yet. I do think that this is going to be very tight. I do fancy us to be picking up points, at least 1 point. But yeah, it is going to be the tightest one yet. I don't see much difference in the personnel. I think the players that we're going to choose, I don't think there'll be too many surprises. Skinner will have had about 3 weeks to work on something different, but I just can't see him dropping too many players. I know that we had a friendly in the week that I know hasn't been publicised too much, where different players will have played, but I'm not going to talk about that because I don't think it's common knowledge. But I just don't think that the players that played in that game will force a way into this game. So
you don't think someone like Maria Edwards could find herself on the bench after the amount of goals she scored? No,
not on the day. I mean, look, we did a show on this last night. So if you haven't checked that out, have a look at the Thursday night show. We did mention Maria, and she'll get her chance. Whether or not it should be a WSL away game at Tottenham, I don't think so. Not yet.
Conti Cup.
Yeah, Conti Cup, FA Cup. No matter who we're against in the FA Cup, if we draw City, draw Chelsea, draw Arsenal, start bringing them through. Because if you don't play them in the FA Cup, then where are you going to play them? Because we haven't seen them in the Conti Cup either yet, have we? So
that makes it interesting, though. So would you rather sacrifice a chance of a cup run to bed in some of the devs in? Because I think as fans, you want to bring the devs through, and some of them, like we've seen, Carrie Jones rightly get her reward this season. But I feel like if we were going to play Chelsea or Arsenal or Man City, you would use your best squad because you want to progress and win a cup. And I think that's the big thing, isn't it? Us United fans would love to see a trophy win come the end of the season. So it is a difficult one.
It is. We haven't got a big enough squad where we can put our second team out and then expect to win, which is a shame because Chelsea and Arsenal and even Man City can make radical changes and still expect to win a game. We haven't got that depth in squad. So
not even if we play someone like Burnley.
Oh yeah, if we play Burnley, and you can expect Maria Edwards to play, not with 10 other
Do you
players.
think Skinner would have the confidence to do that? Because we know with Casey, she had players who she could trust, and it was quite evident that Mary Earps played in goal that game. She didn't need to.
Yeah.
And we had discussed it before. Well, she clearly doesn't trust one of the others to play him, which I don't know why. What was the reason? She'll have her reasons, but you think Mark's a bit different. You think he'll...
I do, because I think you'd come under scrutiny by fans and Manchester United people in general, say, look, the way is to play youth. And I don't think she'll necessarily start. I think, you probably see the likes of Fuso, Martha Thomas or Carrie Jones, because those are higher up the pecking order who still aren't getting game time. So I still think that they deserve more game time. But I think you see Maria on the bench, at least, having to come on. And if you go far in the Conti Cup, then maybe those 3 players are named would play in the Conti Cup, and then that would be a chance for Maria to get a start. But you've got to play them, because if you don't play them in the FA Cup or the Conti Cup, another season's going to go. What you're doing at the club, you might as well put them out on loan and get some game time in the championship, in a championship team where you're playing week in, week out, playing against proper professional players at a senior level. So Skinner must have something in mind. I'm just hoping that the FA Cup will be against a Burnley, for example.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
The pressure's not on Skinner then to think twice.
No, I agree with you. But we sort of went away from the topic there briefly, didn't we? But with the Spurs Man United game, I agree with you. I think it will be a close game. I don't think it's going to be anything like the Championship season where we won 5-1. We both got totally different. Well, you say totally different. There are changes from when we beat them 5-1, but you can never say never with United. But I reckon I agree with you. I think it will be tight. But before we go into score prediction, do you worry that it could happen again where we looked like we were going to get third and then the wheels fell off? Because I know City have got a lot of injuries in that, but they'll all eventually come back. If they get all them back and go on and win every game, then we have, I know we've got a 6-point gap or 7-point gap, but you still need to keep that gap. So does it ever worry you after what happened last season?
Yeah, it does, because City still worry me more than Tottenham, because we've still got to play the top 3 again.
All the way.
Yeah, and Arsenal still got to play at home. So that's still 4 very difficult games where we could drop points. I'm not expecting us to win every game against the others as well, like against a weak opposition. I think there will be 1 or 2 games where we might draw. I do go into every game expecting us to win, but over the course of the season, we probably will falter at least once against those lower teams. And that could be this weekend, although I don't think it will be. So I do think they will drop points. City's still going to play us again, so that will close the gap by 3 points. And City will get their players back. So I still think that we're slight favourites for top 3, but City do scare me. I think we need to be winning. We just need to be in a position that where even if we're against Chelsea and Arsenal, if we lose, we're still in the top 3. And to do that, we need to win this weekend. So it's going to be tough, but I do expect City to start picking up points starting this weekend as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. I couldn't agree more. Going into that, though, prediction time. What are you going for?
I'm going to go for a very tight, cagey, cautious 2-1 win.
I knew you were going to say that. Do you know what? I wrote it down before you even come out of your mouth. I just thought he's going to go 2-1 Man United, which you wouldn't be surprised I've gone for 2-1 as well. Don't think we keep enough clean sheets. We still struggle to seem to struggle from set pieces for some reason, but I think we are better than them. I think we'll still have a little bit too much for them, but I think it'll be a close 2-1 win to United. I agree with you. There will be a time where we'll be disappointed that we've dropped points against someone. I know we normally do well against Everton in the league, but we got them after, so that could be a tricky one. But that's for another show. I'm going to just say to the viewers, we've done it a little bit different today because unfortunately the experts have let us down. They've not provided me with any odds, so I haven't been able to talk about the odds and what the experts are thinking. So we've had to improvise with head-to-heads and goal stats and all that. So that's the reason why we haven't talked about odds and that. But with tonight, there is the fans forum.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday, you got the Ben and Matt show, if I believe I'm correct. And then, of course, we will all be on the road for the Spurs Man United game Sunday, which some will be earlier than others. Yeah. But being only an hour away, I am enjoying the not having to get up at 5:30 for a 12:15 kickoff. I can get up at 9 and still get there 2 hours early because I'm just eager. But on that note, thanks for watching, guys and girls. Don't forget to like and retweet and let us know your comments in the comment box, and we'll speak to you soon. Take care, guys. Thanks, John. See you soon. Thanks.